Welcome to the Deltona Biz Review.
Hey there!
Today, we're diving into a local spot that's, well, all about entertainment. Epic Theaters of West Fallujah.
Right. And we've pulled together quite a bit of info. We looked at local opinions on Yelp, at TripAdvisor.
And we also got details straight from the theater itself. So hopefully we can give you a really comprehensive look at what to expect.
Exactly. Our mission really is to unpack what locals and visitors are saying. You know, the good, the bad.
Everything in between.
Yeah, basically to help you decide if it's, the right place for your next movie night.
Okay, so let's get into it. First off, the overall feeling, the sentiment. It's kind of wild how different it looks depending on where you look.
It really is. On Yelp, you've got this pretty low average, 2.4 stars.
And that's based on only 7 reviews, which isn't a huge number, but still, 2.4 is low.
Yeah, it suggests those folks who did review on Yelp, they had some pretty strong negative feelings, maybe some significant issues.
For sure. It speaks volumes, even from a small group. But then, flip over to TripAdvisor.
And it's like a totally different place.
Right. A 4.5 star average. And that's from, 162 reviews? Much bigger sample size.
A lot bigger. And they even snagged the #1 spot for fun and games in Deltona, plus a Traveler's Choice Award.
Which, means they're getting consistently great reviews. They're putting them in the top 10% on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
That's quite the contrast.
Huge difference. So what gives? Why such different takes? Is it just inconsistent experiences?
Or maybe the kind of people using Yelp versus TripAdvisor. Different expectations, maybe.
Could be. It's hard to say for sure.
Well, let's dig into some specifics. Maybe that'll shed some light. How about the design and, crucially, the cleanliness?
Okay. So on the positive side from TripAdvisor, we saw comments like large, clean, and modern for the building itself.
Okay, sounds promising. A good first impression, maybe.
And there was some specific praise for clean theaters, clean bathrooms. Saw that on TripAdvisor, and actually one positive mention on Yelp too regarding cleanliness.
But that Yelp one felt a bit like an outlier, didn't it?
It did seem that way because the negative feedback on cleanliness, especially on Yelp, was pretty strong.
Yeah, really strong. Descriptions of filthy conditions.
Unclean machines, garbage on the floors, in the snack area, even in the auditoriums.
Wow. And one reviewer, this is back in March 2017, but they called it an unsanitary hell. That's intense.
That is really intense language. Paints a grim picture.
And maybe more concerning, a review from just this January 2024 said it's just getting worse and filthy.
That suggests it's not just an old problem, but maybe an ongoing or even worsening one. That's a major red flag.
Definitely. If a place feels dirty, it just ruins the whole vibe, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Hard to enjoy a movie if you feel like you're sitting in filth.
Okay, so cleanliness seems like a real point of contention. What about the service? The staff?
Again, kind of a mixed bag here based on the reviews.
Yeah, like what?
Well, one Yelp review mentioned a pretty rough start to their visit.
Yeah.
Long line, only one person selling tickets.
Oh, and the ticket machines weren't working either, right?
Exactly. Broken machines. So just getting in the door sounds like it was a hassle for them.
Not a great first impression. It's a bad tone.
Definitely frustrating. But then you get stories like the one from TripAdvisor last September.
Oh, the Gerard story. Yeah, tell us about that.
Right. This reviewer specifically shouted out a staff member, Jared, or maybe Jared. Anyway, he apparently went totally above and beyond, helped them with a dead car battery in the parking lot.
Wow. That's amazing customer service.
Isn't it? That's the kind of thing people remember. Turns a potential disaster into like a highlight. Shows there are potentially some really great people working there.
That's true. It shows the potential. But there's another side too, right?
Unfortunately, yes. Negative comments on Yelp about just generally bad customer service.
And wasn't there one about a manager refusing a refund?
Yeah, that was mentioned. Which, can leave a really sour taste.
For sure. And another thing, a TripAdvisor reviewer from July 2023 pointed out a shift more towards kiosks now.
Right. They noted there's very little personal service available anymore. It's mostly self-serve kiosks for tickets and concessions.
Which is common these days.
But yeah, if you need help or just prefer dealing with a person, it can be less than ideal. Especially if something goes wrong, like needing that refund we mentioned.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk money. Prices and value.
Always a big one for movie theaters.
So back in 2019, a Yelp reviewer actually said ticket prices seemed reasonable. $21 for 2 tickets.
Okay, not bad for back then.
And we got some current prices direct from Epic Theaters as of April 2025. So right now.
Oh, good. What are they looking like?
Adult matinee, so before 4 p.m. is $8.92. Senior matinee, $7.75. Kids are $7.51.
Huh.
Evening prices go up a bit. Adult evening is $11.03. Senior evening, $8.22.
Pretty standard tiered pricing.
And they have that $6 Tuesday deal too.
Yeah.
But you need to have their loyalty membership. That's $6.10 actually.
Right, the loyalty perk. So ticket prices seem, well, kind of in line with what you might expect.
Yeah, maybe. But then you get to the concessions.
Ah, yes. The classic movie theater dilemma.
And this is where people seem to get really worked up.
Right.
We saw outrageous used multiple times.
Yeah.
Yelp and TripAdvisor.
Uh-huh. Not surprising, but still worth noting.
Remember that Yelp reviewer who thought tickets were okay in 2019? They paid $8 for just 2 drinks. Even then, they thought that was way too much.
Wow, $8 for 2 drinks in 2019. Yeah, I can see why people call concession prices outrageous. That adds up fast.
It really does. Though, good tip from a TripAdvisor review.
Yeah.
There is a senior discount available, but you have to ask for it.
Oh, that's useful. Good to know if you qualify. Always worth asking.
Definitely. So, okay, you add all this up. Cleanliness issues for some, service ups and downs, ticket prices may be okay, concessions pricey.
Yeah.
What's the overall customer experience like?
Well, again, it seems polarized. Some people on TripAdvisor were really positive, saying it's just what Deltona needs.
And they like the comfortable seats, the surround sound, the core movie stuff.
Right. When that part works, it makes a big difference.
But then you have the Yelp folks, some of them saying they'd literally rather drive to another city.
Yeah, driving to Ormond Beach or Sanford instead because of bad experiences at Epic.
Mainly citing those cleanliness problems, but also unruly patrons dealing with other disruptive moviegoers.
Right, which the theater staff maybe isn't handling well. That can definitely ruin a movie. And if people feel it's a recurring issue, yeah, I can see driving elsewhere.
And there was that really worrying incident someone reported on TripAdvisor, July 2022,
Oh, yeah, the trailer incident. That was bad.
showing an R-rated horror movie trailer before a G-rated kids movie.
Yikes. Can you imagine little kids seeing that? Understandably caused a lot of distress.
And the worst part, according to the review, was the manager's reaction. Seemed like they just didn't get it or didn't care.
That's a huge failure, both in screening the wrong trailer and then in handling the complaint. Really concerning for parents.
Absolutely. And adding to the sense that maybe things aren't perfectly maintained, a TripAdvisor review from January 2020 said the theater was starting to show its age.
Oh, like how?
They mentioned seeing a visibly repaired screen, like patched up, in one of the main theaters.
Not exactly the pristine image you want. Raises questions about upkeep beyond just sweeping the floors.
Yeah, it all feeds into this mixed picture. Interestingly, some people actually liked that it wasn't crowded.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Easier parking, no lines. Saw that on Yelp. Sort of silver lining, maybe.
I guess so. Less hassle,
But others worried, is this place doing okay? If it's always empty, how long will it last?
that's the flip side, isn't it? Empty theaters might be convenient in the short term, but it doesn't bode well for the business's health or its ability to, say, fix that screen or hire more cleaning staff.
Exactly. It's a bit of a catch-22.
So what about the actual features, the amenities? What do they offer?
Pretty standard stuff for a modern theater, mostly. Reserved seating is available.
Good. Helps avoid the scramble.
And rocking chair seats. They have those Epic XL screens too, the bigger format ones.
Right. Those usually cost a bit extra.
Yeah. They mentioned additional charges for Epic XL and 3D. And there's an elevator to get to the upstairs XL theaters, which is good for accessibility.
Okay. Anything else?
You can buy tickets in advance, obviously. We talked about the loyalty membership for the $6 Tuesday. Oh, and it looks like beer and wine are available now.
Ah, that's a newer trend for many theaters. A January 2020 review mentioned that as maybe being a recent addition then.
Right. And as we mentioned, those kiosks are now the main way to buy tickets and snacks.
So a typical modern multiplex setup, more or less.
Seems like it. Okay, for anyone listening who wants to check it out themselves or maybe needs to get in touch.
Good idea. Let's give them the contact info.
The address, according to the official Epic Theaters website, is 939 Hollywood Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725.
Okay, Hollywood Boulevard. Good to note because Yelp had a different address listed, right? N Normandy BLVD.
Yeah, but the theater's own site says Hollywood Boulevard, so that's almost certainly the correct one.
Got it. Phone number?
It's 386 532 1651.
And email.
Westvalusia at epic-theaters.com.
Perfect. Always good to have that info handy.
So wrapping this all up, it really seems like your experience at Epic Theaters of West Volusia could land anywhere on the spectrum.
It really does. You've got people who appreciate the modern feel, the comfy seats.
But then you've got these pretty consistent complaints, especially popping up on Yelp, about cleanliness. And service seems hit or miss.
Yeah, and the value proposition, tickets might be okay-ish, but those concession prices are clearly a sticking point for many.
So it's not a straightforward yes or no, is it?
Definitely not. It really depends on what you prioritize in a movie outing, and maybe even what day or time you go.
We really hope this deep dive, pulling from all those reviews and the theater's info, has given you, our listener, a clearer picture. Maybe helped you weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah, hopefully it helps you make your own call.
And hey, if you have been to Epic Theaters recently, we'd genuinely love to hear about your experience. Did it match what we found? Was it totally different?
Your stories really help paint the picture for everyone else in Deltona.
Absolutely. And if you have questions for us here at the Deltona Biz Review, or maybe you're interested in advertising,
drop us an email.
Yep, the address is deltonabizreview@gmail.com.
And if you found this helpful, you know what to do.
Please give us a like, subscribe so you don't miss future reviews, and share this with anyone else in the Deltona area who might find it useful. We're always looking for the next local business to put under the microscope.
So, a final thought maybe. Given how varied the feedback is, especially around things like cleanliness and crowds, maybe timing is everything? Could going to, say, a weekday matinee when it's probably quieter?
Or hitting that $6 Tuesday showing?
Right. Could that lead to a better, maybe more consistent experience than a packed Friday night?
That's a really good point. It might be worth a little personal investigation, trying it out at an off-peak time to see if that makes a difference before writing it off completely or before committing to it as your go-to spot.
Exactly. Food for thought.